such a misunderstood supercar.
Welcome back, I'm Tedward. Welcome to the Stowe Mountain Resort here in Vermont with Rally to Give. And welcome back to the Lexus LFA, our 4.8 liter V10 Screamer. This is the best rally car ever, and it's always such a showstopper. It sounds outrageous, and yesterday was rough. Yesterday was all rain. It was pouring. We really got to make use of this single wiper. It's kind of a funky design actually, because you've got one big wiper here and then you've got this little guy there. So technically it is two wipers, but it's on a single arm. It looks so cool. But anyway, today we're heading up to Ottawa City, Canada with all the other rally teams. It's gonna be fun. I love the run to the border, and I'm just excited to get more seat time in this, because who gets to do 1,200-mile road trips in an LFA? One thing that you probably don't know about this car is the fact that it has reasonable storage. Now, when I say reasonable, for a supercar, not the worst. I've already tested this, we have plenty of room. But if you come down here, look at this. You can hit this button and then up pops the glass. Fits, you know, my jacket and a bag and some shoes and some other stuff. Not terrible. It is separated by glass, so you are not able to access anything from the cabin, but this is all carbon fiber, and then you can see some of this in there as well. So let's go make sure that we're heavily caffeinated. We're already on day 3 of this. The lack of sleep, the late nights, it can wear on you, but we're gonna have fun in the LFA because this thing always wakes me up.
The best part about driving in Vermont are obviously the mountain roads. There's incredible places up here, especially this time of year. Leaves are starting to turn. And now we have an LFA to sing through the forest. So we're gonna go drive one of my favorite roads. We still need this car to make it to Canada. It needs to be able to function and drive. And I don't think they've paved this road for a while. There's some bumps on some of the corners, but I think it's still great to make this thing. No words, just make it sing. It's the best. Shift a little bit under heavy shifting. That's definitely a thing. All right. Go slow for the kiddos. This is one of the few spots where there's actually people. Sorry for the stuff in the car. It's not a whole lot of storage. That slow single clutch gearbox, giving us sort of Aventador vibes. Bumpy. The LFA is a bit stiff, and that's where this is like where it really starts to feel like a supercar, where you're just like, okay, it might not be as fast as you want it to be because it's so stiff, because you have to be careful in these sections. Like, it's not going to brake great over the washboard and stuff. just so playful. Under throttle, that's like one of the most charming things about this car. The front end, still planted enough. The first thing that comes out of someone's mouth when you mention the LFA is either, that's the best sounding car in the world, or that is overrated. Both are maybe correct. It's just that if it's overrated for the wrong reasons. This is not the laser sharp Ferrari or McLaren 600 LT tucking into a corner. This is a gentleman's cruiser. This is meant to go like 200 miles an hour. However, it is still fairly light. It has a lot of carbon fiber in it. It has incredible brakes, but the feedback, the driver engagement is what makes this car so special. Because let's get a couple downshifts. Ready, throttle response in 3, 2, 1. And you're just off. It's instant, and you get all this gorgeous intake noise because Yamaha engineered these series of tubes into the dashboard so you actually get real, literal piped-in noise, not some speaker. That is the real deal. And a 4.8 liter V10 from the Japanese is reliable. I know this car's gonna start every time we get up and go, and it's just unique. And this is the time and the place. Now, if I haven't done a good enough job explaining Team Champagne Ninjas, Team Champagne Ninjas is headed up by a legend who stays under the radar. We dare not speak his name on social media. In fact, there are basically no photos of him on the internet. But he has an incredible collection of cars and he's a great hang. It's a huge bummer that he was not able to make it this year, but still sent us on our merry way with some of the fleet. Oh, we've got some friends filming. We gotta give the camera guys what they want. He just needs to not drop that, because that will destroy the front of this car. Come on, get the shot, baby! These guys are great. That's amazing. Sometimes the etiquette out here, you never know. Once in a while you get somebody who's really gonna do it for you. You always gotta wait for line of sight though. A sticker. Going to Canada. All right, this is the bridge to Canada. I've never been this way, kind of excited. There was a nice little sign that said bridge to Canada, and yeah, they were certainly not lying. This is a very literal bridge to Canada. No radar detectors allowed in Canada. Big deal. It is a big deal. You gotta make sure that's tucked away, and not supposed to have one at all, but here we are.
see that sign? $10,000 fine for 150 kilometers and above.
That's not even that fast. We're going 120.
I know. So we're in Canada. It's kind of boring. Like driving to Canada for these road trips, like it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Love Canada. God bless Canada. Go Canada. But for driving, it's a little more Switzerland than US in terms of laws. There's extremely high penalties for speeding. If you go 150 kilometers an hour or above, you get a $10,000 fine. $10,000 for 150. So what's that? That's 90 miles an hour. That's not that fast, like 94, 90 miles an hour, something like that. So coming here for a road trip is certainly fun and beautiful, but you can't really speed here unless you're ready to like deal with legitimate consequences. Something that I've noticed in Canada though, every driver is like almost laser focused. Like no one looks, no one's paying attention to anyone. They're all kind of literally in their own lane. Very interesting to go like somewhere in an LFA and no one's really looking at it, but okay, go Canada. So let's get our way up to Ottawa City to the Fairmont. It's gonna be a beautiful evening. There's our hotel, there's the Fairmont. We're gonna have to go all the way up and around to get to it, it looks like. That's all one-way stuff. The heck is that thing? Sweet. First class parking. Thank you. Excellent. Gonna be nice and easy on this curb. Ugh. Good morning. It's a beautiful day for a drive and we're leaving Canada. Well, we have about an hour of driving left to get across the border. Luckily, even though they have really tight speeding fines here, we're doing pretty good. We found a little rabbit. We found a 350Z to run ahead of us. I just don't want to get arrested in Canada, so I'm being a little cautious, but the signs basically say as long as we keep it under 92, 93 miles an hour, we don't go to jail and get $10,000 fines. So that's ideally the situation. LFA, pretty loud as a road trip car. So the beauty of this car, of course, is that they have intake pipes in the dashboard to make it so when you do this, you get that beautiful sound. The problem, I guess problem if you want to call it a problem, is that for long road trips, that means there's so much noise coming in here. Oh, we just got a flash from him. Let's see. I don't know if that means there could be cops ahead. We shall see. But otherwise, the LFA is super stable, super confident, super happy. You'll notice like 6th gear, that's it, that's all I got, no 7th. We're at like 3,800 RPM, so it's definitely turning some revs, but relative to its 9,000 RPM red line, not outrageous. That percentage is still reasonable. So let's get across the border and see what we can do. I mean, look, I'm not really complaining because I have Waze up. It says I have 5 hours and 50 minutes left before I get to my destination. And normally, I would be bummed out about that. Normally, I'd be saying, wow, that's a long day. That's a long drive. But I have 5 hours and 50 minutes left in a Lexus LFA. So that's not so bad. Well, that's gonna do it for this year's Rally to Give rally from Greenwich, Connecticut up to Ottawa City in Canada. And I'm so thrilled that we were able to take the Team Champagne Ninjas, LFA and PPV. The LFA is just so good at these rallies. It's a phenomenal Grand Tour. It handles great in the mountains. It's not the lightest, most nimble thing in the world, but it's so tactile that you just can't help but enjoy it. It might be a little loud on the interior in terms of long distance cruising, but we cannot fault it for that because it is a supercar. It gets some passes on things like sound insulation. But either way, this V10 is a marvel of engineering and it sounds so, so good. So I'm gonna cruise this thing back to Garage 42 after 1,200 glorious miles. Well, not all of them glorious, a lot of rain. A lot of rain that poor Pete had to suffer through in this car on the way up on the first day. But man, oh man, we got our money's worth when we got up to Vermont. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.